Greetings to you where we are in this world. This is Michelle Strickland, and I'm coming to you today with my daily theology lesson. I just want to do a shout out to everybody in this world who are suffering due to conflict. I just pray that, all this fighting can stop and that people choose peace, love, happiness, and joy, not war. Peace, love, not war. Peace. Love. Peace, not war. I'm going to be going through the Psalms until the Heavenly Host, give me another instruction. I'm going to be reading today from Psalm 74, verses 1 through 23. O God, why hast thou cast us off forever? Why doth thine anger smoke against the sheep of thy pasture? Remember thy congregation, which thou hast purchased of old, the rod of thine inheritance, which thou hast redeemed, this Mount Zion, wherein thou hadst dwelt. Lift up thy feet unto the perpetual desolation, even all that the enemy hath done wickedly in the sanctuary. There is a lot of wickedry right in God's sanctuaries. Got people going in God's sanctuaries pretending to be lovers of God, but once they leave, they're heathens. They act more wickedly than the people that don't go into the sanctuary. Not all, but a lot. They're putting this face on like they're that they're for you or for God, and they commit some of the worst atrocities known to man. And they treat people, some of those folks treat people worse than people that don't go and walk into his sanctuary. And that's something that the church needs to really look at and address, because you've driven a lot of people away because of the wickedness. You can't tell the difference when you're in the church or when you're out. Thine enemies roar in the midst of thy congregations. They set up their ensigns, foresigns. A man was famous according as he had lifted up axes upon the thick trees. But now they break down the carved work thereof at once with axes and hammers. We see that happening all over this world, where people during war times, regardless, they have desecrated God's sanctuaries. We've seen that. We've seen pictures of that in videos, where people have gone in and desecrated God's sanctuaries, regardless of religion. They have cast fire into the sanctuary. They have defiled by casting down the dwelling place of thy name to the ground. They said in their hearts, let us destroy them together. They have burned up all the synagogues of God in the land. We see not our signs. There is no more any prophet, neither is there among us any that knoweth how long. O God, how long shall the adversary reproach? Shall the enemy blaspheme thy name forever? It's a lot of that. People just, where's your God? Where's your God? Where's your God? I'm going to keep believing in him. I'm going to keep believing in the Heavenly Host, because I've seen, what believing has done for me. It's an individual walk. Why withdrawest thou thy hand, even thy right hand? Pluck it out of thy bosom. For God is my King of old, working salvation in the midst of the earth. He is a God of salvation. But he gives man a choice to do good or to do bad. He gives us a choice. And unfortunately, we have to suffer our consequence. And sometimes people suffer the consequence behind somebody else's actions, which is sad. And I mentioned, I think last week, when I would talk to my students when I was a counselor, I would tell them just about every month, or I would, if I was talking to them privately, because I had to talk to each one of my students privately, but then I did group meetings. I would tell them, I said, a lot of times the decisions that you make affect someone else more than they affect you. Maybe later that comes back and affects you. Just think about that. For God is my King of old, working salvation in the midst of the earth. Thou didst divide the sea by thy strength. Thou breakest the heads of the dragons in the waters. Thou breakest the heads of Leviathan in pieces, and gavest him to be meat to the people inhabiting the wilderness. Thou didst cleave the foundation and the flood. Thou driest up mighty rivers. We see that happening all over this earth. We're seeing floods happening in different places of the world, and we're seeing droughts happening in places of the world. It's up to him what he allows to happen on his earth. It's not our earth, it's his earth. The day is thine, the night also is thine. Thou hast prepared the light and the sun. Thou hast set all borders of the earth. Thou hast made summer and winter. Now, people don't have to believe that. Don't have to believe it. Stuff didn't just appear out of nowhere. I don't care how many millions, billions, trillions of years. Stuff, it came from somewhere. It manifested from something. Stuff just doesn't manifest itself. If it does, it's because there was a process before that, though, to allow it to materialize. We didn't just materialize ourselves. Something had to happen between our parents to allow us to appear. Remember this, that the enemy hath reproached, O Lord, and that the foolish people have blasphemed thy name. There's a lot of that going on, but people don't have to believe. And that's where God is at this time. You don't have to believe. He's always giving everybody a choice. But the chickens have come home to roost now. We can see ourselves getting closer and closer to that brick wall that we're heading towards at 100 miles an hour. And I'm praying for intervention somehow so that, calamity doesn't befall this whole earth. But we're all suffering. I pray for that he has mercy on us somehow. But, he gives us all a choice. And unfortunately, even innocent people suffer behind what wicked people do, and dishonest people. O deliver not the soul of thy turtle dove unto the multitude of the wicked. Forget not the congregation of the poor forever. Yeah, poor people, we get trampled on. People feel like they have a license to just mistreat us just because we're poor or we look a certain way. Can you imagine that? You look a certain way, so you're going to get, so people feel like they can just do whatever to you, You try to be decent on this, or people won't come up against you. They're going to say this and they're going to say that about you. No, that's how it is. You got to be strong and have backbone on this earth to survive, because most people not going to be there for you like God's going to be there for you in the heavenly host. Have respect unto the covenant, For the dark places of the earth are full of the habitations of cruelty. Yeah, people are very cruel these days, and they just feel good about it. They think that's cute, being cruel and nasty. You see it all. Look on the internet. You see it all day long, every day, 24 hours a day. Just people being cruel. They think that's cool. It's not cool if it's them, though. But it's cool if they're able to do that to someone else. You know, be wicked and cruel. And then when they do stuff to somebody, that's okay. But then when the person that they're mistreating calls them out on it, then there's something wrong with that person. No. That's how it is, though. When the abuser abuses someone, they blame the victim. It's your fault that I abused you. Oh, let not the oppressed return to shame. Let the poor and the needy praise thy name. I praise his name every day, all through the day. I do. I love God. I don't care if anybody else. If they don't want to believe in him, they don't have to. But you don't need to pull me down because I do. That's my choice. I can believe what I want to believe. When I'm called to be fiery, that's what I'm going to be. Arise, O God, plead thine own case. Remember how the foolish man reproacheth thee daily. Every day, all day, 24 hours a day. They do. Forget not thy voice of thine enemies, the tumult of those that rise up against thee increaseth continually. There's a lot of people rising up against God. That's fine. You can do what you want to do. But when you stand before him, what are you going to do? When you find out that it's real, I want you to all to remember that find God wherever you are on this earth. You don't have to be perfect. You don't. We all sin and fall short. You know, the good guys, we sin and fall short sometimes. The bad guys, they sin and fall short sometimes. It's whom you serve. You either serve God or Satan or Iblis or whoever you call him. Dark, prince of darkness. I mean, he just got different names. So different cultures call him different names. You know. I mean, we can just. I mean, that's a debate for. We could go on and on for hours and hours and days. But just find him. Pray for this earth. Pray for people. Pray for peace. Pray for love. Pray for hope. Pray for justice. Pray for joy. I choose joy, and I'm thankful that most of the time I'm joyous. I have my moments and my days where I don't feel so joyous. Because I felt beaten down sometimes by this world. Bump, 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 bump. Then I had to get up. Walk, 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 walk. And I have to find my joy, and I do. And I'm thankful that I'm not a miserable soul that can't find joy and happiness and peace. I'm very peaceful. My household is peaceful, and my family is peaceful because I chose, when I was raising my kids, love, peace, happiness, and joy. Laughter filled my house, and it still does. When I go to be around my family, we focus on love, peace, happiness, joy, peace, and laughter. We laugh all the time. All the time. That's healthy. And I just wish everyone else could choose that for their lives. This world would be a lot better. Anyway, I want you to remember, I care about you. This is my theology lesson and my meditation. I recorded it so I could release it because maybe somebody could get something out of it. Choose love. Choose peace. Not war and hate. Pray for this world. And remember, smile this day anyway. And reach out to one person at a time. One person at a time. One person at a time. Okay?